That's supposed to be the best time of my life. These are the times, the judgments, the ways of our ways, and all that kind of stuff. I called this I called it a cooter ring not too long ago. Well, I don't want to joke about things that I shouldn't joke about, but that's all that's gonna ever happen anyhow. For any utmost scenario of any of it. I couldn't even make it in the stuffy room earlier. I was gonna go, and I signed up, and I retracted myself out of the situation. I was gonna play music, but I couldn't handle it. I kept sinking into this infinite sinking couch. It kept going down and down and down. I felt all the germs everywhere in the air. I feel a little bit under the weather, as it might go, all that kind of thing. So I don't feel like making a YouTube channel or recording anything online. I'm shadow banned on Instagram, so I just downed it all, reset everything to 0. You'll never get your bot followers back. There was a few people that weren't bots, by the way, but it was mostly just bot followers, a collection of bot followers from over the years. You watched your algorithm plummet or whatever. I guess there's some sort of enactment of humor that the AI machine did not take so kindly. My kind of humor is exactly that sort of humor, you know. I mean, this is life itself, you know. This is life itself. Some people take that kind of thing seriously. I have to mask how I'm really feeling, you know, with a subdued effort of some of the worst humor you'll ever imagine, and then you have to deal with it, you know. Otherwise, I have to know how I really feel, and you don't want to have to deal with that, you know. I myself don't very often, so I put my cooter ring on or whatever. I got a candy bar next to me, and I just ate a portable pot pie, but I didn't really take it anywhere luxurious or anything. Usually when it's me and my pot pie, I try to get some air back in my inflatable swan. I'm afraid to take my inflatable swan out of the backpack in which it has been stuffed into, because if it doesn't inflate correctly, or if there's some sort of hole that needs to be healed in the gigantic, rather costly inflatable swan, what the hell am I going to do regarding that? You know? And to search for the puncture wound in your inflatable swan. Realize you haven't even used it over 3 times or whatever. I blew the inflatable swan up temporarily, and it's recorded on some video, and then at another point I tested it out outdoors. I had air put into the inflatable swan, but I don't even think it has hit the water ever. I'm gonna take it down the gorges and see if I can like find myself into the inlet of the lake, but everyone knows what's involved with the inlet of the lake anymore and what the people are doing there. Something I won't repeat. All I have to say, it was one of my favorite spots to take short walks, even elongated walks. If you did it a few times, they ruined the area there completely. It's this disorganized, it's disorderly in an unexciting, non-fun sort of way, more of a depressing way. But that's the county. I wake up every day and realize I don't really belong in this area here. I'm trying to immerse myself in the maximum amount of fun that might be had, but we're living in a, sufferable economy, and it's not in a very good of a. It's despotism maximized, you know. It's what it is. It's despotism maximized. I'll feel good in a little while. This bio-warfare crap going around ain't so great. That's why I got my cooter ring on, but I feel like a jerk for cutting out earlier. I wanted to go play music. I just had to go, though. You know. I don't mean to. Ruin your, you don't have a good name. You're going to ruin a bad name. You're going to take a bad name and make it worse. Which is not the worst thing that you could do, to be honest. That's not that bad of an idea. As long as you're not sorrowful about any of it. You can be internally sorrowful and everything like that, but if you're outwardly sorrowful, that's not going to do any good, you know. I mean, has anyone ever eaten a lot of grapes and got really sick? Because I don't recommend doing that. I did that once in my life, and you don't need to do that any more than once in your whole life, you know. That's not a good thing to do, you know. But I had an instrument arrive. It wasn't broken by any means, and it was from the Chicago Music Exchange or something like that, and it's a cutaway Yamaha F FSX 800, or you want to go FX? I don't think that would be it. I think it would be the first one. It's over that way. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like it's mahogany almost, the way it has the tint stain to it. Let's say the other thing. You thought I said something else, but it's okay. I had these spare bone saddles laying around, but they weren't the length, the width of them wasn't well enough to fit the bridge area. So I have one from a company called All Parts, which I think the other ones, the Yamahas I had set up with, rather okay. And I'll try to put a bone saddle in for that. But I gotta stay away from everyone and everything lately. Even though I need to like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I can handle it. I can handle pushing myself through even more. But winter season is coming around and everything. I dropped off a snowboard on a sidewalk somewhere. The person that was meant to find, hopefully will find the thing. Otherwise, someone that's not meant to find it's going to find it. And that's horrible. And that's probably what's going to happen. I don't have anything else to talk about. I don't want to talk about world ongoings or anything like that. That's terrible, man. I don't like knowing any of that crap going on, because you're supposed to listen to a bunch of washed up, idiotic celebrities telling you what to believe, and they're half there, almost in the brain department, but not quite, And I'm only seeing all this stuff because I have insomnia right now. Despite me feeling under the weather, I still want to do things and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's not even a wound. I just like having that there, by the way. I had it going down like this. And then another way, Because I made a character. It wasn't a character, though. It was me. It was who I was, who I am. So what? I don't know. Why would I want to participate in this civilization? I don't see a lot going for it very much, I want to write my books. I want to keep writing my books and write my characters and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to make a splash, groaning about mismatching with present civilization and everything like that, because there's better things to do. I don't know. Like, I'm going to get up and exercise, I guess. I'm going to get up and I'm going to have some coffee and some tea, I guess, because I can't get any sleep or anything. I was going to go participate in public ongoings and play some music, but it was so stuffy. And I felt alone. Being around all these people and everything made me feel like alone. And it was bumming me out, man. So I had to go. I couldn't reach into, like, whatever component, I needed to reach into and find some aspiration or anything like that. I needed somebody else to help uplift me. And that wasn't happening, And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to try to make a splash complaining about it. I'm just stating what was happening and all that. I mean, I got to that candy bar right over there. But then I had to, I had to brush my teeth again, I had to brush my teeth again. You don't want to brush your teeth too much or anything. I found that thing for my tooth that's fucked up. That thing you're supposed to put in your mouth and so you don't, grind your tooth nerve. I found it. The tooth protector thing, so that's there, and I wake up and I'm eating the thing, It's supposed to be aging. It's supposed to be aging gracefully. I feel like many of those people feel like they're not alive anymore. They're just between worlds or something like that, and you're supposed to watch the rest of the world go on, where people continue to worship all the mindless bile that Hollywood celebrities spill out of their gourds, and you're supposed to pretend like anyone that's a political representative has done any worthwhile self-work for their own being and anything like that. Meanwhile, if I look a little odd or whatever, that's supposed to be on me, I'm subjugated to some sort of, ill-mannered recipe or something like that of beingness. I was like, yeah, we're all these little, marbles that landed on the roulette wheel of life or whatever, It's like, oh, how dare you? You weren't born into, having brothers and sisters. You weren't born into, mass nepotism or anything like that. So you better, get well quick and get a little bit more furiously going, on the things you're set out to do. it's like, what, without lying and cheating and stealing or whatever? It's like, man, so you're gonna throw a whole moral game into the scenario as well as you go along with it? It's like, man, I don't know. I'd rather hang out with a bunch of wild weasels, you know? I'd rather go hang around a bunch of wild weasels. That's how it is. I had something, I don't even know what I was seeing earlier, and I had something I recorded. I might as well upload that too, because this is all just data. You know, I might as well throw this into the data pool as well. I don't know. Philosophy does not go a long way in today's, civilization. It's all backwards and upside down, you realize, right? You know? So, you want to find some optimism, sell it good, print it out on a bumper sticker or something. Let's get some optimism, something that sounds like optimism going or whatever, meanwhile you just grab your fists into other people's pockets and call it a good cause at the end of the situation or whatever, I mean, I invested into that, that to me helped out a lot, it's a bit different, and having just like a manila wall or a green screen. God help anybody that's gonna, not be allowed to wear the color green, because I enjoy the color green quite a bit, Some say it's not easy being green, but most people that say that probably are not green. So, I don't know. And then by the time you go back out and you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing I don't even want to talk about that. Doesn't matter. I'd like to do like maybe an hour of me talking and getting about that far into a topic and then just saying, hey, forget it, I'd be like, hey, shut up and play music and record music. Do that more. Something happened in 2012 where I worked my butt off and made about 7 hours worth of music and was doing soundtrack stuff. Something happened where I realized that I'm not born into nepotism, and I'm not trying to like rip people's brains off or something. I'm not trying to sell some niche to somebody's brain. I think I had some trauma or something by like seeing what the music industry is, and I think I got real bitter about putting a lot of effort and help into people who ended up making it and got to sligger and connect and snarble into nepotism. I worked hard helping make music videos and record shows for him and stuff like that, and I'm real bitter about it in a way that comes and goes in quaint obviousness or whatever, and I gotta get over it, I suppose. But you see the nitty gritty of the way that certain industries work, whether it's this industry or that industry and all that kind of thing. Deep down, rock and roll is the answer, in a way. And there's many different vantage points of what rock and roll is. And all that sort of thing. And there's things that stick around that inspire you or whatever. Like for me, it's the Replacements and Husker Du and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the fad stuff, which is the bad stuff, like going through all that pop punk stuff and everything like that. And you look back and you're just like, oh man, that's that part of the cheese that's real horrible and it's got mildew. And then you got some big wheel of cheese that stayed good through the years and everything like that. And that's like the good garage rock and, all the songs that stuck around that are still inspiring to this day and everything. And they're the riffs that energize you and all that. Good luck to me finding any musicians that aren't drug-addled, crazy effers. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta, like, when I look for musicians, I'm looking for people that act like they play music. They have to play their instrument like they are on something, but they cannot be on something. And they have to essentially have optimism, but have been pulverized through life in a way, or something like that. And it's like, hey man, it's like, what's your option? So your option's to get a looper pedal, right? There's I have a huge critique on people that use looper pedals and everything like that. And I don't know, just like I like raw, basic rock and roll, primitive, simple, dunderheaded stuff where the soul bleeds through. I don't know. I'll get around to talking about some sort of subject matter or something one of these days, but I don't know. I don't care about the internet anymore. I don't really... What would you do if you had enough sleep, if you had enough energy, you know, you had enough gas money? Probably go to, like, flea markets. Go around flea markets and just look at stuff and collect stories of things. Find some people that have some... Find the last people left alive as they exhale their last few exhalations of life, and then plop into the death zone. You know, get some last of the real people, collect some of their stories and everything like that. You know, because you know they got bratty kids. They got the next generation of their kids are all crap. No offense or anything. I don't mean to say that in a bad way either. You know, like if I insult humanity or something like that, I don't mean to do it in a bad way. And I don't, you know, want any guff from anybody. I don't want to hear guff, you know. I don't like hearing what I'm not around for what other people have to say, you know, for anything at all. Unless they're like wild weasels, you know. I prefer wild weasels, so if anyone, you know, takes on some sort of form of communication to me, they should be a wild weasel. Otherwise, it just doesn't matter to me. It's like, you know, anyone I respect is like really dead, you know, or like exhaling their last exhalation, and I gotta go like become, you know, their family for like a split second or so that they know somebody's out there listening to them, because they know that they're, you know, their immediate leftover family, they know that they're not really worth a darn or anything like that. So I gotta go and put some oomph into some people's very last seconds of life while they're at a table at a flea market somewhere or something, and see if they got any extra cooter rings or something, you know. I don't know what happened. What's the point of this anyway? It just gets stuck on shit, man. Like stuff, like it's just stuck on everything. It makes me you know, it's me participating in humanity in a harmonious way, like that. That's it. That's the thing. That's what's going with that, you know. So I have some sort of inkling that that's happening whatsoever, you know. I mean, Trapper Keepers went out of style a long time ago, and I haven't really paid attention to anything ever since then. So that's how it's going, you know. Oh shit! And there's a full. The moon's pretty bright tonight, also, which explains this sort of scenario, you know. So I don't know. I gotta go sell astrology to the youth or something like that. Pretend to be a tattoo artist, but really it's using that, you know, that. It's using temporary ink because I don't want to go screw people up more than they're already screwed up or whatever. So I gotta take some stock out in tattoo removal or something like that, you know, because the pendulum is always swinging. It seems like it's gonna take a while for it to swing back the other way, however. So, you know, I don't know. I like to get in trouble with everybody that exists. I think I do a pretty good job of doing that. I could actually, you know, take bridges and connect them from spot to spot, but if you ruin anyone's niche or anything like that, then it's bad trouble, you know. If you cause somebody to unify against something they identify against disliking or whatever, if you cause too many answers to get filled in, it makes people more uproarious than it does for them to find a solvent, you know. If there's anything throughout, you know, that's the one thing where there'd be any value of subject matter out of all this, which bothers me quite a bit, because that's not what I was going for whatsoever. But anyway, I don't know. So that's fun. That was all fun. Happy New Year, because it's a first time I really said anything, you know. That's what I love to do, is address the common public, you know. So I mean, I announced myself as the mayor of the world, but I hadn't told anybody that. And then if I go around telling people that, they won't take it very seriously anyway. And then they want me to, you know, be accountable, you know, for certain world ongoings. And so that wasn't the point that any of this happened whatsoever. I was just here to embezzle money from the universe, that's all. You know, it's like everybody else does, you know. Just without telling too tall of a tale about it or whatever. But, you know, you might as well go all the way with it and be like, okay, let's check it out. I'm the mayor of the world. And it's like, yeah. And it's like, you didn't say which world you're talking about. It's like, yeah, should I have to do that? Should I?